Welcome back to GearCheckGames. My name is Trey. This is the third installment of our Pikmin 1 playthrough. And again, I am joined by Joe and Dan. We're going back to the Forest of Hope, not the Garden of Hope.
Oh, finally.
Why do you always introduce the game before you introduce us? Are we not as important as the game, Trey?
Hey, I don't introduce you
Are
guys
your
at all.
friends less important than this game? Because honestly, I wouldn't blame you. This is a good game.
Right?
The very
Speaking
best.
of, I didn't mention it last time, but like the theme of the first area.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're about to hear it sped up too, so get ready. I think this is one of the few times that I speed up a pluck just because it's like, alright, you've seen this before. But I love how the music just like, it just relaxes you. It gives you this like real easy feeling while you're murdering monsters.
Well, like,
It's nice. Oh yeah, I did.
After you.
I was gonna say I displayed there because that was the part that I almost picked up last time. That's the whimsical radar.
Possibly one of the most important parts of the game.
Oh, yeah, because this helps you find more ship parts, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Case in point.
And we just completely cut off Trey.
Yeah,
Sorry, Trey. Please continue.
you're fine. Well, as you can see, I'm playing around with the map, so
Yeah.
I'm just like, hey, there's a part that I'm going for. I'm calling out my shot. I'm Babe Ruth in it.
Like all good Pikmin players do. What I was gonna say, you're talking about how like the intro sequence to the level kind of like relaxes you and like gets you in the mood to play. That kind of made me think about, because there are definitely games I've played where like the interruptions and like the non-interactive parts are like too frequent and like annoy me, like with Zelda Skyward Sword being like the poster child example for how interruptions can like ruin a game. But I don't know, there are some times in games where I kind of just want to like get situated, get like in the zone, maybe take a sip of my drink.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. Do you guys have any thoughts on that, or am I just insane?
No, like this is one of those kind of games that you can do that with. At the same time, like the clock slowly ticks away.
Well, I don't mean like during gameplay. I just mean like that unskippable like intro sequence when you like your ship lands and like the music starts up.
Oh. Yeah, I do. I like that kind of stuff. That's one thing I'm glad some old games don't let you skip. Like, it's little things like that. Like, I know I'm not a speedrunner, but those things do add up. Like, if you are speedrunning, but they're nice little flavor things that get you invested in the game.
Yeah.
Especially in this, because every time I play this game, when the day end theme comes by, I start humming it. I'm just like, oh yeah, I like this song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then again,
Well, it's
I'm
kinda
also
like
the kind of insane masochist that when I'm watching a show on Netflix, I never skip like the intro or the credits.
Oh.
Oh.
I won't skip it if it's good.
Yeah.
Like, there are some shows that I've watched that, like, the intro is so good that I watch it every time.
Well, yeah.
And, even more rare, the ending themes. But,
Oh, yeah, I just murdered a whole squad of bees. Sorry.
yeah, the whole, unskippable thing is, it's kind of a fine line, really. Like, it's really nice for flavor sometimes. Like, I think it works with Pikmin because it's like, what is it? Like, it's pretty infrequent.
Well, you kind of need like time to like plan things out.
Yeah, like, it gives you some, I mean, like, the camera kind of gives you a lay of the land while you're doing it, and, like, it's pretty infrequent since days are pretty long, and the cutscene itself isn't that long. And an interesting example of kind of like a negative of this, I think, is so the like the transitions and stuff for selecting and going to. What are you doing?
Trey,
I'm doing a skip.
what's your end game here? Some
No,
of you
speedrun
may
strat.
die. Wait, you said that last time, didn't you?
That
Hey,
one
it
of
still
them got
rings
to
true.
shore and just died.
We've
Yeah.
got one guy to start on the bridge.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, this strat is the Sagittarius skip. It allows you to get it early without having blue Pikmin. Oh, by the way, this entire area you don't need blue Pikmin for, and we're gonna see that in this part and the next.
Quality you can only get from your good old pals at GCG.
Yeah. Also, mini reds are lost in the making of the skip.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm used to playing RTS games and losing guys. Like my race in StarCraft is Zerg, so I'm like, oh yeah, Zerglings die. They're a dime a dozen.
Oh, that makes so much sense then. You're
Yeah.
a Zerg player.
Yeah. It's like this is nothing for me.
Are they anything like the evil Emperor Zerg from Toy Story 2?
Oh, I missed it.
Is this really a speedrun tactic? Because it seems like you're wasting a lot more time than you're saving. doing
And
this.
innocent lives, let us not forget.
Uh-huh.
They're not innocent. They've killed other creatures.
At your command.
Yeah.
Olimar, hashtag Olimar did nothing wrong.
But anyway, what I was saying about the like level transitions thing, in the Mario games, you've got like the you've got like a little transition to go into a level. It says level start, and when you die, there's a death animation, and like it kicks you back to the map, and then you got to reselect the level and go back in, which is usually fine because like, well, for one, the levels usually aren't that hard, so you're not dying that often. And it's pretty short overall. But interesting enough, it's like in something like Mario Maker, where you're playing like much harder levels, and say levels where some sadist made it so that it kills you right at the very beginning, and you've just got to like, if you got to keep hammering and trying it again and again, then it starts to really like grate on you how you have to go through this like 2-second animation and thing, like set of procedures to get back in the level, but you have to do it like 50 times in a minute or whatever, or like with ROM hacks for Mario games.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, because with Pikmin you don't really encounter that problem, because like either you go through the whole day and accomplish what you intend to, or you don't. Like, there's not a whole lot of like the repetition is kind of built into the game. You're not like starting a day and then instantly like dying and having to restart. You just, if you do die, you just go to the next day.
The ratio of time spent is leaning much more heavily towards playtime over watching cutscenes and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, which I'm all for. Like,
yeah.
This isn't MinGS4. We don't need that.
Hey, at least you
we're
can skip
about
the cutscenes in MGS4.
Every time you make fun of MGS4, Dan sheds a tiny tear.
I shed a manly tear.
The only good cutscene in MGS4 is the one where Johnny's taking a dump in the barrel and you knock him over.
That's the worst cutscene in MGS4.
You're telling me that the Metal Gear Solid game that has two old farts beating the snot out of each other on top of a giant battleship with Mount Snakemore does not have good cutscenes?
Oh, I forgot about Mount Snakemore.
Oh, that's an episode title.
Oh. Well, hey, is this the one? Do you fight any Snagrets in this episode? It could work.
It's either this next episode. It's either this one or the next one.
Or like Mount
Snagmore Caverns.
Because that's what they'll do to your Pikmin.
Right? You'll see how I handle them. So we just picked up the Nova Blaster, which if you're a Digimon fan is like, hey, that's Greymon's attack, isn't it? But I have a better anecdote about it. Why didn't he use the Nova Blaster to destroy the asteroid that hit his ship?
If I'm being honest, he probably just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, he was probably texting and driving.
Oh.
Well, I guess they
the
are.
This game ends with a message. A message.
PSA.
Sponsored. Yeah, sponsored by the Road Safety Administration.
It's got Olimar smoking a cigarette on the loading screen.
Why are you bringing it back to MGS4? Oh right, because of the smoking is bad for you message.
I was going to say it'd be awesome. So Olimar obviously has this giant cannon that goes on his ship. How awesome would it be if it was like Metroid Prime 3, and you can like call it? You could like call in the ship for like an airstrike if you wanted to get rid of like a tough enemy. Oh my, yes. Pikmin 4. Hey. I know you're gonna happen eventually. Let's see.
You know what would be cool for Pikmin 4? If they did like, if they went back to like, you had to rebuild your ship, but the different parts that you collected actually had like more skips at the cost of Pikmin lives.
Yeah. I try to rescue them this time.
If they went back to
so
collecting
it's fine.
ship parts. If they went back to collecting ship parts, except the ship parts actually had like function in the game for different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like how the upgrades do in 2 and 3.
Yeah, kind of like that. And then it would add an extra layer of interesting gameplay decision making, where like you can prioritize different ship parts based on like the benefits they give.
Yeah, how you like to play.
In this game, there's really no reason for you to be going after the Sagittarius this early and killing all your Pikmin for it. But if the Sagittarius actually had a gameplay effect, then maybe it would.
Yeah. So, this bolt over here, this door that's guarding it, on the playthrough I did before this one, it took a different number of bombs.
It lived!
Yeah.
The Pikmin who lived!
Thank goodness. He just got a bomb-shaped scar on his forehead.
Yeah, does that make Olimar Voldemar?
One of the Pikmin has 2 heads. One normal one, and then on the back of it, it's got like another grotesque head growing out the back of it.
It's like in the ending where you don't get all the parts in the allotted days, and Olimar crashes back down and turns into a Pikmin. Yeah. But they pull him out, and he's a Pikmin with like Olimar's face on the back of its head.
Oh god. Yeah, I was gonna say who's the Pikmin equivalent of Professor Quirrell? Would it be Louie? It'd probably be Louie. That snake. Oh.
Louie's too dumb to be Professor Quirrell.
Well, okay. Well, never mind. You're probably right.
Are there any Harry Potter characters that are like associated with bugs?
I was gonna say there's one like silly guy.
Louie was like the king of bugs.
Hagrid's pet spider.
I guess.
Yeah. Started with an A, right?
Yeah, Aragog.
No, Louie would be Hagrid, and the spider that like kidnaps him in the game is Aragog. It's just Hagrid laying down on top of Aragog while it runs around and shoots bombs at the 3 kids.
Aragog is such a biblical sounding name.
I mean, after
I always thought it just sounded like Aragorn.
After Fantastic Beasts, I was feeling a little bit lukewarm about this whole Harry Potter cinematic universe, but now that I see that there's so much potential for new compelling stories to be told in this world, I'm feeling a lot better. Like Hagrid chasing after Harry and friends on a giant spider, firing laser beams. Sorry.
All the Pikmin would be the little mandrakes.
Oh god.
Oh god.
And they just scream at you through the whole game.
Oh yeah.
Especially when you pluck them out of the ground, they're like
Rated E for
Each Pikmin has a scream, so the more Pikmin you have following you, the louder the screams are.
No thanks. I'm good.
So I'm trying to, what you saw there, I was trying to get a yellow in my hands. They fixed that in the Wii port of this, where you could if you held A and then push B, you could cycle through your Pikmin like you can in 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
But that's not in this OG GameCube 1.0 version.
Yeah, I would always just, like... I did a lot of dismissing and recalling my Pikmin just to get the color I wanted.
Yeah. That is the most easy way, but you can, like, rummage through the squad. It's just messy.
Yeah, I tried... There were a few times where... It was usually a toss-up between whether I, like, go through the effort of dismissing and recalling them, or just, like, trying to maneuver my way through the crowd so that a Pikmin of the color I wanted was next to me. One was a lot more reliable than the other.
Does anybody else think the fins on the bottom of Olimar's rocket ship look like apple slices?
Thank you! I'm so glad someone else thought that, because when you pick that item up, I'm like, is that an apple? But no, it's the bottom of your ship. That's like the front of it at the beginning of the game looks like a Pokeball.
So in case Olimar runs out of food, he can eat his only means of transportation.
Going to check on the old Sagittarius team.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to rescue them, that way that we don't get another blunder. But
This looks like it could only end in tears.
Oh. I could kill all of these guys, or all of those guys.
Too bad you don't have any blue Pikmin who actually act as lifeguards.
Oh yeah.
Which is nice.
So
I never noticed. Go ahead.
Trey, how many Pikmin are gonna have to die for this bridge to be built?
Not enough.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Well, I tried.
Yeah, and you failed.
Oh my! Is Pikmin just an analogy for the Industrial Revolution, where you're just like getting these like other species, like enslaving them to make your railways and like making them work in horrible conditions where they like just die from negligence.
Again, it's Nintendo hiding these dark, mature themes behind a child-friendly interface.
Yeah. Eventually we'll find in meatpacking plants, whenever people open the cans, they'll find little pieces of Pikmin in there. And like, I didn't know this was the vegetarian variety.
Fun fact, Shigeru Miyamoto, who created this game by himself, he's not a fan of stories, but he does have a soft spot for subtle nods to historical events. Particularly the Industrial Revolution in America.
Oh god.
We can all confirm this, of course.
Trust me, I am Shigeru Miyamoto. Thank you for playing my game.
Thank you so much for playing my game. Goodbye.
Can you imagine Shiggy in a Civil War regalia? He's like a reenactor.
My God.
He's got like a Confederate army battle standard and a uniform and an old musket rifle.
But he's wearing a space helmet.
And he's just like, how did I get here?
How did he get to Alabama? Well, join us next time where I probably will sacrifice more Pikmin.
Oh, no.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.